All righty, thank you for tuning in to yet another lesson by Klassik King. All righty, this lesson will be on drugs. All righty, drugs. All right, so first and foremost, anything can be a drug, not just your normal marijuana, alcohol. For the sake of the youth, I'm not going to mention a whole list of them, but y'all get what I'm saying. Anything can be a drug, okay? Meaning anything you are addicted to, meaning you have an uncontrollable desire for, or a person, place, or thing you feel you need for emotional stability or balance. You hear me? So I'm gonna repeat that again. A drug can be anything you are addicted to, meaning you have an uncontrollable desire for, or a person, place, or thing you feel you need for emotional stability. It could be mental stability, emotional ties in with the mental, you know, or even spiritual stability, uh, for balance. Okay. So that's just not your typical drugs, what society would categorize drugs. I think we all know what I'm talking about when I say categorize drugs, right? A drug can literally be food, right? Most of us have food addictions. You know, people don't want to admit it, but us eating junk food, sugars, um, even me, my guilty pleasure is fast food, French fries. That's my thing. I like French fries. Um, it's and even I could admit it might be an emotional attachment to French fries. Just, I guess I don't know. Maybe it's just the way the fast food makes it. Maybe it's the salt, oil. I don't know. I think it's the salt, maybe the MSG that they put in it. Because you can make French fries yourself at home. You buy some potatoes. Hopefully they're wholesome. You know. Um, Nowadays we got the air fryer, right? So you don't need to dip them in oil. Um, but even with that, I don't think necessarily oil is bad for you. You know, I think maybe when it's greasy type of oil, like it's dripping off grease and whatnot, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to probably do some research on oils when it comes to food because we can use oils and food, cook with and stuff, and they're good for the body and whatnot. So I would imagine it'll be all right to eat small quantities of, oil. Of course, eating fried chicken or fried food every day, obviously, we all know that that's bad. What they say clog your arteries and high cholesterol and all that. Um, but yeah, a drug can be food addiction. It can be going to the gym. Okay. Uh, a drug can be now for the young ones who may not know what this is or whatnot, but for the youth, I'm sure y'all know in today's society, but pornography is definitely an addiction. All right. Actually, more than what people think it is. And that's not just men, it's women too. Um, Drug could be social media, having to always, every hour, every 10 minutes, check your feed to see what's on your feed. You know, a drug could be, um, I had it on my mind. Oh, gaming. Gaming could be a hobby. You know, now that's something that's just like, okay, maybe if you're making money from it, you know, um, I think healthy gaming is all right in life. Growing up, I like to play games. You know, yeah, I learned a lot actually from playing games. You know, um, it taught me patience. Especially playing like well, any game for really teaches you patience because if you can't beat a level or you're having trouble with a level, it teaches you to have patience. You know what I mean? You can't always throw the controller, right? You break the controller, then what? You can't play the game at all. You can't get past the level at all, right? So we have to learn patience, all right? And hopefully each time we went through that level, maybe we caught something that we missed the first time, right? Maybe we missed something the first 10 times you tried to go through that level, right? So games actually can teach you a lot in life, you know. It teaches you to have a good eye for things, it teaches you critical thinking. It could teach you creative thinking, you know. I like the wide range of games from sports to first person shooters, um, to adventure, uh, to I guess the platform. Like I had a wide range. I'm not gonna get into all of the specifics, but I played a wide range of different types of games, and essentially, I could say it all taught me something, an aspect about life. You know, um, so let me not get off track about gaming, but yeah, gaming could be an addiction. Um, anything can be an addiction, something that you have an emotional attachment to get you through life, for you to have a balance. Now, it doesn't mean because you use something to help you keep balance, it's a drug. Like you can use meditation, you can use yoga. Um, Gaming could be something that you use to help you cope. It could be a coping skill, but if it's something, it's more so what I'm describing is something that you constantly need. Like you have to do this. Like there's no other way for you to have balance in your life or to obtain balance in your life if this isn't readily at hand. Okay. That's an addiction. Okay. That's an addiction. Having coping skills, mechanisms, that's healthy in life. That is very healthy. That is very natural for us to go to what makes us happy, our happy place, our happy things. But we have to make sure we don't allow an emotional or a spiritual, um, or even mental attachment to take hold onto those things. All right. Um, Now, drugs, that might be a little different. I'm not going to say, hey, I'm not going to condone, hey, do this drug every now and again if you need it. No, that's not how those type of drugs work. All right. Even with marijuana, I'm gonna be very candid and say that I started smoking marijuana out of stress. I had entered a point in my life. I didn't start smoking until I was what, 24. Um, it just came from me just being under a lot of stress, and I damn sure wasn't going to excuse my language, but wasn't going to um, smoke cigarettes and alcohol. I would have alcohol here and there. It wasn't until recently, maybe like the past year, my life that I started probably abusing alcohol a little bit more than um no, I wouldn't say a little bit. I started abusing alcohol more than what I was only used to be a social drinker. Then maybe in like the past year, maybe I started drinking a little more, year or two. Just drinking a little more. Um, or not being um conscious of my drinking. It first started off with me probably just having. I would only drink two drinks, but the thing is, I wouldn't maybe be on an empty stomach. Anybody that drinks know how that affects you a little faster. Wait a minute, let me get back to the weed. Started smoking marijuana out of stress, literally out of stress. Like I was just like, you know what? I've never done this. No, you know what started me in my way? Yeah, one day I was just like, I was really stressed out and I was with a female. She smoked and we was just chilling, vibing. And I never smoked in my life. This one particular time, and she wasn't pressuring me. She wasn't in being an influence to me, starting. But I was just like, man, I'm stressed out. Let me see what the let me see what the hype is about or the you know, but I'm not going to lie. I'm gonna be very candid on my thoughts and my feelings and my head place at that time. When I first smoked marijuana, um, when I first did it, I was, what, I take that back. I was 21. That was the first time that I did it. And that was the first and only time until I started doing it at 24. But it was the first and only time when I did it was when I was like 21, 20, 21. But anyway, let me get back. First time that I did it, man, I'm going to be very candid and say I got some of the best sleep of my life from after that, you know. And I'm not gonna get into the whole story, but it kind of ruined the night because I was after I smoked. That's all I remember. I woke up the next morning, um, and yeah, like that was some of the best sleep I had in my life. So I think that experience from that and the feeling that I got from that kind of, I didn't do it again after that until I was 24, because then I was just like, damn, sorry for my language. I try not to do. So anyways, um, I was under a lot of stress, and yeah, I just started picking it up, doing it on a daily basis, and it helped me. It definitely helped. Excuse me, definitely helped me in life as far as just day to day. You know, um, can't say I was. I'm not even gonna lie. I started off as a pothead. Um, even though I did it for the first and only time when I was 21, and I officially started when I was 24. I went head first, and like it wasn't just once a day. No, when I started, it might have been like maybe three times a day. Mm. And me, I'm not even gonna get into the whole dynamics, but I like to, essentially use a lot of it at once. And I did do it. So I would not only was I smoking, but I would go through a lot of money too. Okay, addictions, phew, addictions are expensive. Trust me on that. Addictions definitely can be expensive. When it got to a point, maybe I was spending at the height, maybe like $1,000 a month just smoking, because I think it wasn't just me that I was consuming, but when I get around my friends or family that indulged, I'm the type I share. Hey, yeah, I got it. Let's commune together. I'm not the type. Oh, I bought this. You didn't put in on this, man. If I got it, shoot. If I got it, you got it. That's always been my mentality. If I got it, you got it. You know, when it comes down to my friends and family, whatever they need, I got it. You got it. That I've had to learn in life recently that to cut down on certain things like that. I can't share everything. That's another thing. Um, but essentially, I'm the type of person. If I got it, you got it. And if you're close to me, you're a friend, or even if you're a stranger. You know. Anyways, it, so I was just having that addiction just cost a lot of money. When I look back over the money that I spent, man, that was a lot of money. Just for personal use, just for just personal, just being around friends and family. You know what I mean? And smoking. That's what really that's what really did it was always being around or coming around friends and family, and if they smoke, I'm the type we all smoke, you know. Um, so that's how I got started on smoking marijuana, or just out of stress, man. Out of stress, trying to cope. It wasn't until recently, maybe the past several months, like past 9 months. No, I wouldn't say 9. Yeah, about 9 months. The past 7, 8 months. I've been really evaluating that part as far as smoking. Um, and then even though I had stopped smoking as much, I started picking up drinking, started getting into wine as a way to cope, you know. Um, so it's not healthy to trade off one thing for another thing, trade off one bad habit for another bad habit. Okay, we got to learn how to get through life struggles um, with balance, all right, and without an emotional tie and without an emotional attachment um, to a substance, all righty, because substance abuse is very prevalent. It's not a poor person problem. It's not a middle class person problem. It's not a rich person class problem. It's a societal problem. Okay? This thing plagues society all over the world. People have addictions all over the world. I don't care where you come from, um, your status in life, your culture, ethnicity. We all suffer from addiction, addictions. Um, but yeah, that was my battle with having to deal with marijuana and use it as a substance into which I would need to help get me through, you know. Now, too much of anything, even good things, could potentially become bad for you. Okay. Drugs, drugs, or addictions uh, could become a problem for anyone's life, rich, poor, young, or old. Addiction, addictions have a great effect on your brain, and its chemical functions. Okay. Anytime that we have an addiction, it changes our chemical makeup in our brain. It may turn off certain receptors and turn on certain receptors. Okay. Um, Such receptors like dopamine. Dopamine is like the receptors in our brain that receive like uh, not receptors, but it's a substance that our body releases or that we can get from addictions that our body creates this dopamine, which creates like a happy feeling or a satisfying feeling. Um, that's what dopamine. Drugs, in terms of substances, can only take one time. It can only take one time for you to take it to change your life or brain forever. Okay. I have a cousin that smoked marijuana one time. And the first time he did it, his so-called friends, homeboys, homies, whatever, didn't tell him it was laced. Laced meaning it wasn't just marijuana inside there. It was more than that inside what he was smoking. Yeah, it was way more uh, inside than what he was smoking. And that damaged him for life. Um, he was going to have a scholarship and all. A lot of us have these stories about family members in our communities about how a cousin or a friend did something one time and it changed their whole entire life. It changed their whole entire life. Right? Different substances have different effects on different people. So just because something doesn't affect somebody in a harmful way or a way that they can't function does not mean that if you do it, everything is going to be fine. Because our body makeup, our body chemistry, we all have different bodily functions, different bodily makeups. So what harms you may not harm me, and vice versa. What harms me may not harm you. All right. But that doesn't mean that we should take a chance though, right? You know, what one person can handle may land somebody else in the hospital. Okay. Substances could make you do things you wouldn't normally do. I am not condoning nor endorsing any substance, but if you are curious or have questions concerning any substances, please make sure you talk with somebody that you trust. Okay, I'm not condoning anything, but if you're curious or you're looking to try something, be sure to talk to somebody that you trust. Make sure that if you do indulge for the first time, that you're in a safe environment. All right. Make sure that you're surrounded by people that's going to take care of you if anything was to go wrong. All right. Always think about your life and future before trying or doing any type of substance. Right. Always think about your future. Always think about the effects. Always do some more research on it. All right. Because just because it's a trend, it's just because it's legal, you know, doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Or not even the right thing to do, but doesn't mean it's healthy for you to do. Just because They're making it for legal use, like this medicinal. I ain't even gonna get into all that, but all this medicinal marijuana, um, just because they're making it legal and making it okay for you to do it, doesn't mean that it's healthy. If you have friends or family that pressure you into taking or doing drugs against your will, they are not good for you. They are not real friends. They are not real family. Okay. I advise you to keep your distance from those people. Okay. Anybody that's going to pressure you to do anything in life, they're not good people. Or at least they're not good for you in that moment. Okay. Because even sometimes people that we trust might push us or pressure us to do something. But if it's not anything that you don't want to do, don't do it. Right. That's one thing that I could say in life that for the most part, I've never been pressured into nothing. The reason why I didn't start smoking until I got older in life, it just wasn't me. I had, chances in high school, um, maybe even middle school to smoke, but it just wasn't me. I just wasn't me. And I wasn't going to allow somebody to pressure me to doing something I wasn't comfortable in doing, or didn't want to do. Had no desire to do it, and that was that. You know, and for the most part, once you take a stance on it, that hey, no, I'm not doing it. For the most part, people back off or people lay off. Especially if you stand on it. I haven't had anybody that necessarily stopped being my friend because I didn't want to do it. You know, I didn't mind if they did it, but it just wasn't me. And that doesn't make them a bad person just because they do that. All right. 'Cause I know some good people. I know some good people lost some good people to drugs. So taking drugs doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. It's just addictions, right? All right, so just to recap on lesson number 7 on drugs. Now remember, a drug can be anything you are addicted to, meaning you have an uncontrollable desire for, or a person, a place, a thing you feel you need for emotional stability or balance. Okay? Meaning you cannot go without this thing. You cannot go without doing this thing or having this thing without having balance in your life or making you feel good. Alrighty. Drugs isn't just a substance, okay? What we know as drugs, marijuana, etc. It could be food. Food is a big one. I already mentioned it, but anything can be a drug. Already mentioned some examples of what they might be, and there's plenty of others that might be addictions because addictions come in all different forms. Alrighty. So once again, before you try anything, or if you're curious about something or want more information on something, or you're looking or thinking about trying something, always remember, do your research, ask somebody that you trust. And if you are going to partake in a substance or something that may have a life-altering effect, make sure you're in a safe environment. That's all I can say. Make sure you're around people that you trust, that's going to help you out if something goes wrong. All right. So always have a mind of your own. If you're subjected to peer pressure, try to remove yourself. Or if you can't necessarily remove yourself from where you are at that moment, just stand on it. Say, hey, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this. And stand on it. Right. People might call you names or might call you this or might call you that, but hey, this is your life that you have to live, not theirs. Because if something goes wrong, whose life is it? They're not going to be able to trade places with you. You're going to have to live with that for the rest of your life if you have a bad reaction to a substance, to any type of substance. All right. That's you that's going to have to live the rest of your life with. All right. So be careful. Be very careful with the things that, you know, you put in to your ears, you put into your system, and even your eyes. That's all part of addictions. All of our senses, our five senses: touch, sight, smell, taste, and hearing all play a role in addictions. All right. All right. So thank you for tuning in. As always, be free, stay safe, and be yourself.